What are the 5 most affordable modifications you can do to your Fiesta ST? Now, when I say affordable, we're going to go for sort of under £500. There'll be a mix of buying used items and new items here, and I'll try and include in the cost labour. But obviously, if you can do the work yourself, then you're winning. There's a few things I've done to this car which have made massive differences and haven't cost me much. So let's go through every one. I'm going to go through every modification and talk about how much of a difference it makes and how much it's going to cost you in terms of that £500. Now, the first modification I would recommend is actually a modification I'd recommend on any car you ever buy, and that is a remap. Now, you don't need any hardware for that, so it's literally just software, and normally cost you between £300 and £400. So standard, these cars come at 180 brake horsepower, and a stage 1 can sometimes get you up to 230 horsepower. So you're talking quite a big increase, as well as the torque across all the power bands. The one gripe I had with this car from standard, not very quick. Now, this actually came stage 1 tuned anyway, but I did drive one that was standard and it felt a bit lackluster. Number 2 on my list of recommended modifications is my torque mount, or my lower engine mount. Now, you'll benefit mostly from this if you are tuned, even on a stage 1, probably from stock, to be honest. These are known for getting quite bad, and the original ones are just not very stiff. Now, you put one of these on, it stiffens everything up, and the huge amount of difference it makes is there's quite a lot of torque steer on these cars. So you put your foot down and these cars veer off to one side. I believe it's more of the power is going through one wheel. Put one of these on the car, and you might be wondering, why have I got one in my hand if there's one on the car? This one came from a breaker and it ended up, can't even find it now, but there was a split in one of these things, and I ended up just getting my money back and buying a brand new one. But this made a huge difference to my car. My car is stage 2, and I couldn't believe how much more stable it felt under load, pulling away, etc, etc. Now, you can get these parts used for quite cheap, but as I just explained, it did not go very well for me. You can get them, the Collins Torx mount, which is what I've got on my car, for £100, and they're very easy to fit yourself, but it might cost you 50 quid for a garage to fit them. So we're talking 150 total. The third modification is an exhaust, and now we might be cheating a little bit with this one. You're only going to find an exhaust, I believe, second hand. So say you want the Miltech non-race res, you can pick up quite a few of them second hand for £300, so quite well below the £500 budget. However, if you paid someone labour, you'd maybe be paying another £100 or so. Let me show you what it sounds like. I think it's going to be on cold start. I did just move it around, so maybe not, but it sounds good, and it's just a great modification. We like how our cars sound. For the fact that this is a 1.6 litre engine, it actually sounds surprisingly good. So let's fire it up. So yeah, that's how it sounds. I think it sounds really good, and I had a Cobra exhaust on before. Way too drony, way too loud, and I like the Miltech non-race res a lot more. If you just want a bit more sound and it to sound a bit nicer, but you don't want it to blow your eardrums, then that is the perfect exhaust for you. Fourth modification is lowering springs. So as you see, this car is lower than standard. It's currently on IBAC red lines, which I believe cost me about 190 quid, and then it cost me another 200 to get them fit. And these just completely transform how the car looks. From standard, the rear sits really high and it just doesn't look very nice. Lowering springs make a huge difference to the aesthetics without changing much, and they kind of make the car feel a little bit more planted around the corners. And yeah, I definitely recommend doing this as one of the first modifications on your car. So, number 5. Now, I'm going to be honest, it was quite hard to narrow down what to put in this number 5 spot. There's a load of modifications I've done to this car. There's a separate video on my channel. I think I go through every single modification. If you do want to know everything that's on this car, I think I rate every single one, so it'll give you a good idea of what you want to do to yours. But I think the last spot is probably reserved for spacers. Now, even when this car was lowered, it kind of looked a bit weird because the wheels weren't sitting flush with the arches. But now if you look here, they fit really flush with the arches. Now these are SD spacers. I've got 20 milligrams on the back, not 20 milligrams, fucking hell, 20 millimeters on the back and 15 millimeters on the front. And they've made a huge difference, to be fair. They just make the car, especially combined with the springs, they make the car look a lot nicer. I believe they're a similar price to the springs, maybe 150-ish, and to fit them, they're very easy to fit yourself. You do not need to pay a garage to do that. So well under the budget. So yeah, that's my 5 recommendations for mods on your Fiesta ST. There'd probably be a few others that I would recommend, but if you're just looking at spending a few £100 on 5 different mods, those are the ones for you. I do also recommend declaring these all to your insurance. I actually found that modified insurers were cheaper than my normal insurance, so I have everything declared. If you're enjoying these videos, then please do subscribe. Yeah, and I'll be back at some point for my next video. Peace.